Namaste, welcome back to my channel, Mindily. So today's class or today's practice is a little bit different. It's for runners, people who love to run and would like to use yoga to either do some stretching or do recovery as well. So what happened with me last year was when Melbourne was in lockdown. I think we had a consecutive 112-day lockdown, and I was unable to work because of because the yoga studios were closed. I felt sorry for myself for a little bit. It's just a normal human way of dealing with things. And once I was able to process all my emotions, I thought, you know what, I love running, so I'm just going to keep running and get fit and maybe run 1,000 kilometers for a year. So I had never run 1,000 kilometers in a year. In June last year, I ran 200 kilometers, and suddenly the 1,000 kilometers seemed very achievable. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to up the target and maybe run for 1,500 kilometers for the year because I've never done it. I ended up running 1,510 kilometers for 2020, which was a very good outcome for me personally. And usually when I run that much, I pick up some sort of injury. So in that sense, I was a little bit lucky that I didn't get the injury. But besides luck, what else did I do to avoid injury? Good recovery, obviously. And part of the recovery and stretching was my yoga practice. And I discovered a few poses along the way that helped me a lot. And I would like to share them with you today. And I hope you find them useful for yourself as well, especially someone like me who's got very, very tight hips. And I had a severe hip injury 3 years ago, which probably knocked me around, and I couldn't do a lot of the yoga poses for, I don't know, for 6 to 8 months from memory. So maybe we can work through those, and I can show you a few useful stretches. You can use these asanas or poses for stretching before the run, or you could use them after run for recovery. There are two ways you can do it after a run. You can come home straight away and use them for recovery, or you could do them the next day. What I did was do the stretches next day, especially after my long run. So my run on the Sunday morning was anywhere between 14 to 26 kilometers, depending on what my target was that day. And I would use it on a Monday morning to do these poses and these stretches, and I found that they helped me a lot. So let's get into it. So the first pose I call is a tree pose of Vrikshasana. Struggling to get some Sanskrit words out of my mouth. So with Vrikshasana, the benefit is, yes, we're standing on one leg, so it may not look like a stretch, but it's actually very good for the quads and the groin area, and also strengthens our ankles, which is very important for us as runners, and also improves our balance, especially if you're going on bends and turning around. If you're running on a trail, like I do around here behind my house, it really is useful from a balance point of view. So the way we do tree pose is we just ground down onto our left leg. And once you've grounded down on our left leg and felt the sense of balance and the weight shifting, we bring the right foot on the inside of the left leg. Now your right foot could be either above the knee or below the knee, just making sure it's not against the knee. We don't want to hurt the knee joint. And once we are there, you have two options with your hands. You can either bring your hands to heart center, or you can raise your hands towards the sky. It's totally up to you. And then finding a spot to focus at. I find that when we're looking at one spot, it's very, very useful to be able to do that. And then doing this pose for anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds. You can choose to count your breath as well, if that helps you. And then slowly returning the right foot to the ground and shaking the left leg. So that's on one side. And then we ground down into the left foot, or right foot, sorry, I'm mirroring you. So right foot, and then we bring the left foot on the inside of the right leg. And then again, hands to heart center. And again, this side might be different than the other side. Balance might be easier or harder on this side. So just being kind to yourself. And if you can't hold for 20 to 30 seconds, just starting with 10 or perhaps 5 seconds. A big part of yoga is falling in and out of the poses. That's a big part of the practice, and that's how we build discipline and strength to be able to do whole poses for a long time. And then just relaxing, and then shaking the right leg. You need to. The next pose I wanted to show you was low lunge or Anjaniasana. The way we do Anjaniasana is we have a leg length distance between our feet. We drop the lower knee onto the mat. Now you can have your toes tucked or you can have your toes untucked. I prefer it untucked, so it's depending on the kind of balance you're looking for. And then our right knee is above the right ankle. And then from here we take the hands towards the sky. This is very good for the hip flexors and the quads. And then finding a gaze again, 20 to 30 seconds. It also provides for movement in the knee joint. So I've had 2 knee reconstructions on my right knee. So I find this pose useful for my knee as well. And then we bring our hands down in order to swap. We'll move through another pose in between. We step the left foot forward to meet the right foot. And then from here, big toes will touch, heels will be slightly apart. And we'll just fold forward. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. And we try and bring the fingertips onto the mat. And then slowly straighten the knees without lifting the fingertips off the mat. So even if you can straighten it like a millimeter, it's okay. Just going, listening to your body and giving the body what it needs. This is very good for lengthening the hamstring and releasing the lower back. And letting the head hang heavy when we do that. And then slowly lifting the right leg, stepping it back, dropping the right knee, untucking the toes as the hands sweep up. We come into low lunge on this side. And I can already feel the difference. For me, the right hip is tighter than the left hip. Although I didn't do a long run yesterday, I only did a 5 kilometer, and the last kilometer was more like a speed workout. Where I'm trying to improve my speed. One more breath here. And then bring your hands down and step the right foot forward to meet the left foot. The next pose we are going to do is Uttan Pristhasana, or lizard lunge as we call it. The way to do it is when we come to the top of the mat, we take the legs, the right leg to the outer edge of the mat, bend down and take the left foot and step it back. The right hand will come on the inside of the right foot and the left wrist below the left shoulder. So both our wrists are below our shoulders. And then we drop the lower knee and untuck the toe. This is very good for the hip flexors, for the quads and the hamstrings. If you want to feel more, you can always tuck the toe and lift the back knee. You'll feel a deeper stretch as well. It just depends where you want to go. And then slowly taking the left foot and stepping it forward on the outside of the left palm, or you can do it your own way in your own time, coming back to stand up in front of the mat and then stepping the right foot back. Lower the right knee, untuck the toes. And then once again, the left tricep is knocking against the left knee. That's what you want to be doing. And relaxing. And I'll face you and show you a deeper version of lizard lunge if you want to explore further. So when we're in a lizard lunge, we can roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. Place the right palm on the right knee and rotate the shoulder, right shoulder open towards the ceiling. And you can do it on the other side as well. That way you'll feel a deeper stretch. So just adjusting according to how much of a stretch your body can handle and what you really need to be able to do. The next pose I'd like to show you is Ardha Kapotasana or half pigeon. So the way we do half pigeon is we come into all fours on our hands and our knees, and then we wiggle our right knee behind the right wrist and extend the left leg towards the back, untucking the toes a little bit. And then you have a couple of options here. You can stay upright, or you can come down onto your elbows, or you can make a cushion for your fists under your forehead, or you can place your head onto the ground. So you have several options to play with. This one gives you a good rotation on the external rotation on the front leg, and at the same time the back leg is stretching the psoas muscle, which is inside the lumbar region, and also the hip flexors as well. I also feel it on my outer right glute. But if you don't feel it there, it's okay. Everyone's body is a bit different. And once we've done pigeon on one side, we tuck the toes, we step back into all fours, and then we bring the left knee behind the left wrist. And again, once we are here, taking the same or different options, because every side is different. The next one is Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana is very good for the inner thighs and lower back. Where we do Baddha Konasana is, or bound angle is, we touch the soles of the feet, bring the hands around the feet, let the knees drop away, letting gravity do its job, and then we just fold forward. I've seen people touch their forehead to their foot. I'm not that flexible, so I just go to my edge and I just stay right up to my edge. And that reminds me of a myth that I hear often, that you have to be flexible to do yoga, which is what I often hear. Yoga actually makes you flexible, not the other way around. We don't have to be flexible to do yoga. We just need to be able to breathe and have a body to do yoga. So that's Baddha Konasana. The other one is Ardha Matsyendrasana, or half Lord of the Fishes. Where we do that is we extend our legs and then we cross the right ankle over the left knee. Left hand wraps around, and then the right hand goes back as we twist. Now this is really good for the spine and the glutes, the lower back and the glutes. And we want to keep our spine straight when we are twisting. We don't want to be leaning back. We want to be leaning upright. We're going to be straight upright, not leaning anywhere. And then we come back to center. And then we cross over the left ankle over the right knee as we bring our right hand around and left hand goes back. So we are on our fingertips on our left hand, as if you can just pretend you're holding cupcake under your palms, so you don't want to destroy the icing and keep the cupcake looking beautiful. Then we come back to center, and the last one, my favorite, and the foundational pose. Anyone who's ever heard of yoga knows about down dog. The best thing about down dog is a whole body stretch. It opens the shoulders, it stretches our calves, our hamstrings, and it lengthens the spine as well. So in down dog, we want to make sure that our palms are spread wide and our palms plugging into the mat, so the fingers are spread wide. And we're gently pushing the chest towards the thighs as we take the gaze between the legs. And we stay here for roughly 5 breaths. And then gently coming down into all fours. I hope you like the stretches. And once again, reminder, you can do it before a run as a stretch. You can do it immediately after as a recovery, or like what I used to do is to do it as a recovery next day. These poses also can have a gentle and a restorative effect on the mind as well. So it's not just stretching your body, but looking after your mind as well. And if you really like the video, I really appreciate if you could please like and subscribe to my channel. Wherever you are in the world today, have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon on the mat. Namaste.